is Julie with Making Mindfulness, and we're here doing relaxation yoga, and we're ready for you to join us. We need a golf ball or a tennis ball, either one, and we're going to get started in mountain pose. So find your mountain pose about hip distance apart, feet parallel, maybe even your toes coming in towards one another. Straighten up through your back. Bring your shoulders down away from your ears and your palms open. Slow your breath down. Shift your weight from the front to the back and lift your toes, spread them out. Take note of how your body's feeling, how your feet are feeling. If anything's going on that you should keep in mind during your practice. Slowly shift your weight over to your left foot and grab one of the balls to roll out your right foot. So stand up tall. You want to put enough pressure on the ball that you feel it, but not so much pressure that it hurts. And we're rolling out the bottom of the feet to loosen up the fascia, which are connected all the way through your body. So take another moment here, get anything else you need. And we're going to slowly make our way back to mountain pose. So move your ball and come back to mountain. Shift your weight from your heels to your toes. Straighten up through the top of your head and slowly breathe. Slowly shift your weight over to your right foot and grab the ball with your left foot and roll your left foot out. Same thing that we just did on the other side. Standing up tall. You don't need to look at your foot while you're doing this, but you can if you need to. And take another moment here, and when you're ready, slowly move your ball to the front. Shift your weight from the front to the back, lift your toes, and come back to your mountain. So this is our last mountain check-in, and we don't need the ball any longer. So if you want to move it to the side, you're more than welcome to do that. Stand up tall and breathe. All right, beautiful. So make your way up to the front of your mat, the front of your space, and starting in a mountain pose or a mountain-ish pose, you're gonna breathe your arms up. So on your next inhale, follow your own breath. On your next inhale, raise your arms up overhead. And on your exhale, dive down towards the floor slowly. And let your arms hang. So you can keep a flat back here, or you can roll down. You can grab your elbows, relax through your head, your neck, the shoulders, your jaw, and breathe. So feel the stretch up the back of your legs. If you're grabbing your elbows, release your hands, and on your next inhale, come halfway up with a flat back, hands to shins or thighs. Elongate through the top of your head and breathe. Take a few breaths here. And on your next exhale, fold back down. If your hands are resting on the floor, you can step on your fingers here. And breathe. Slowly, on your next inhale, bring your arms out to the side and slowly dive back up. Reaching through your fingertips, maybe even leaning back and breathing. And on your exhale, bring your hands back down to your sides. All right, so starting towards the front of your mat, you're going to inhale your arms up overhead. And as you exhale, swing your hands towards your hips and sit back with a chair pose. So push your hips back. You might be lifting up through your toes. Bring your toes back down. Reach through your fingertips, or you can bring your hands to heart center. All right, and on your inhale, slowly come back up and reach through your fingertips again. Leaning back. And on your exhale, bring your hands back down to your sides. Inhale your arms up overhead. And swing your hands back. And this time, step your right foot way back into a lunge. Your front foot is flat, and your back foot, you're on the toes and the ball of the foot. So your arms can be up again or at heart center. Straighten through the back leg. Working on strength and balance here. Make sure that your front knee doesn't go beyond your ankle, so it can be directly in line or closer to your body. And breathe. All right, and slowly bring that back heel down to the floor and open your arms up parallel to the floor and lean back into that front knee for warrior two. Reach through your fingertips here, gaze out over your left hand, and breathe. Turn your left palm up and slowly shift your weight back. Bring your right hand to your back leg or to your low back palm up. Reach through your fingertips and breathe. Slowly bring your hands back to warrior two, parallel to the floor. Come up out of that front knee. Bring your toes in parallel to one another. So you can keep your arms here for five-pointed star, or you can bring your hands to your hips, straighten through your back and hinge forward. Bring your torso forward towards the floor. Feel the stretch up the back of your legs and breathe. If you want a little more challenge for your core, you're welcome to bring your hands up parallel to your head. Or you can clasp your hands back behind your hips and raise them up off your hips. Breathe deeply and completely. If you've clasped your hands behind your hips, bring your hands back down, maybe even hands to hips. Straighten through your back and slowly hinge back up. Heel toe your feet in and step your right foot back to meet your left foot. So starting at the front of your space again, find relaxed mountain pose. And on your next inhale, breathe your arms up overhead. And swing your hands towards your hips and step your left foot way back for that lunge. Straighten through the back leg, reaching through the heel. Slowly bring that back heel down to the floor. And bring your arms out parallel to the floor. You might even want to walk your right foot out. Bend into the front knee. Reach through the fingertips and breathe. So your back foot is 45 to 90 degrees from your front foot. And you're straightening through the top of your head. Breathing here. Turn your right palm up and slowly shift your weight, bringing your left hand to the back leg or behind the back palm up. Keep the bend in your front knee and breathe. Slowly come back to warrior two. Raise up out of your front knee. Bring your feet parallel. Straighten up through your back, hands at hips, and slowly shift your way forward. So you can take any variation you'd like here. We did the clasp hands, the hands parallel. You can also bring one hand down towards the floor, or you can use your block here. One hand up, one hand down, or one hand at your low back. So if you're taking the twist, slowly switch your hands. Make sure you're breathing, feeling that stretch up the back of your legs. Slowly uncurl. Bring your hands to your hips and slowly come back up to standing. Heel toe your feet in and step to the front of your space. Inhale your arms up overhead. And exhale, dive forward, forward fold. Inhale halfway up. And on your exhale, bring your hands to the floor, bend your knees, and step or jump back into plank pose. So from plank pose, you can stay here. You can come down onto your knees with flat feet and slowly just lower yourself down onto your mat. Okay, so from here, we're gonna lift your hands and your shoulders up off the floor, leaving your legs where they are, reaching through the top of your head for a little back bend. Slowly make your way back down. Curl your toes. And you can come onto your knees and then downward facing dog, or just push yourself up. So you can come to your knees and lift your hips to downward facing dog. Reach through your heels. An upside down V, lifting your hips to the sky. Slowly walk your hands in towards your feet. And come back to that forward fold. Okay, when you're ready, bring your hands out to the sides and slowly stand back up, reaching through the fingertips. And bring your hands back down to your hips. All right. Step your right foot way back into that lunge again. You can bring your hands to your thighs, hands to your hips, heart center or up. Reaching through the heel here, straighten through that back leg. Bring your hands to heart center and slowly bring the right elbow over the left knee. So you can stay here or you can hinge at the knee if it feels comfortable, if that works for your body today. And breathe. Slowly uncurl. Bring both hands down to the floor and bring your foot back to plank pose. You can reach through your heels here, and we're going to step the right foot now up to the feet. So you might want to bring the knee down, step the right foot around, lift through that back knee, and then lift up into the lunge on this side. So hands at hips, hands at heart center, or arms up. Reach through that back leg, and breathe. Bring your hands to heart center and slowly bring the left elbow over the right knee. You can stay here or you can hinge at the knee. Slowly uncurl. Bring both hands down to the floor. Step back into that plank pose and breathe. Bring both knees down. And again, we're going to step the left foot up, out front. So keep a flat foot in the front. You're on your back knee and your back foot is flat. Step your foot out a little bit more and we're going to reach through into the hip flexor here. So you can keep your hands on your thighs. And we're opening up through the hip flexor, even into the torso. If you don't feel that, you can bring the right arm up overhead. You can even lean over to the left side, breathing through, opening up. Slowly come back up to center and bring that hand down to the outside of your left knee. Bring the right hand back towards your ankle and breathe. Uncurl. Bring both hands to the inside of your left foot. Bring the left foot back, your knees together, and let's push back into child's pose. So bring your hips back towards your ankles, hands flat, and breathe. Take a few deep breaths here. This is a pose in yoga. Anytime you need to take a break, you just push back into child's pose. All right, and slowly come up, and we're going to bring the right knee up in front. Bend into that right knee. Maybe you can walk the right knee out a little bit further. So we're opening up through the hip here into the torso. You can bring your left hand up. You can also lean over to the right side. Slowly come back to center and bring the left hand to the outside of the right knee, the right hand back towards the back foot for a twist. Breathing here. slowly uncurl. Bring both hands to the inside of the right foot. Bring your knees back and come to table. Okay, so from this pose, we're gonna curl your toes under in the back and slowly lift your hips up to downward facing dog. So slowly lift your hips and your knees. Bring your head in line with your arms, reach through your heels, and if it feels good, you can walk both your heels one at a time towards the floor. Breathing here, and slowly walk your feet up to your hands up to your feet. And from your forward fold, uncurl one vertebrae at a time, lifting your head last. Roll your shoulders down. Beautiful. Okay, so starting at the front of your mat again, we're going to step your right foot one small step behind. So both feet are flat on the floor, reaching through the top of your head, and you can bring your hands to your hips here or hands to heart center, and we're just going to lean your torso forward. So similar to what we did with the wide leg stance, so lean your torso forward with a flat back, feeling the stretch up both legs. So both legs are straight, both feet are flat, breathing here, feeling the stretch. Slowly hinge back up, step your right foot in and step your left foot back. So both feet flat on the floor, straighten up through the top of your head and hinge forward. Breathing here, and you should feel a stretch through both legs. Make sure you're listening to your body and you're only going as far as feels comfortable. And slowly come back up and step your feet in together. Okay, so we're going to move into a couple of standing balance poses. So you can stay on your mat or you can get off onto a stable surface. And starting in mountain pose, just like we did with the ball series, we're going to shift your weight over to your left foot and pop up into your right toe. So from here, you can find a place to fix your gaze that's not a person, and bring your hands to heart center and slowly lift your right knee up. So we're engaging through the leg, through the core, and breathing. Doesn't matter how high your knee goes. Alright, and slowly bring your foot back down and shift your weight. Beautiful. So we're going to move to the other side. Starting in mountain pose, shift your weight over to your right foot, pop up into your right toe, and if you want to, you can set your hands, set your gaze, and slowly lift your left foot up. And slowly bring your foot back down. Shift your weight from one foot to the other, maybe walking your legs out. Alright, so starting in mountain pose again. Shift your weight over to your left foot, pop up into your right toe, and this time we're going to move into tree pose. So you're going to bring the bottom of your right foot to your calf or your thigh. You can set your hands wherever you'd like, any kind of tree, and slowly bring your right foot up for tree pose. Slowly bring your foot back down, bring your hands back down, and walk your legs out. We're going to shift the weight over to the other side, so move over to the right side, pop up into that left toe, maybe set your hands wherever you'd like, any kind of tree, and bring your left foot up to your right leg. Slowly bring your foot back down and shift your weight. Okay, so starting again in mountain pose, shift your weight over to your left foot, pop up into your right toe, and we're going to move into eagle pose. So just like we did before, we're going to lift the right knee, but this time we're going to pile your knees on top of one another with your right leg spinning around your left leg. So you can just bring your hands to heart center, lift your knee, slowly bring your knee over your left knee and sit down like you're sitting in a chair. So you can have this leg out or you can spin it around if it feels comfortable. So see what feels good. And breathe. Slowly come back up, bring your foot back down, and walk your legs out. The eagle arms are officially bringing your right hand over your left hand, bending at the elbows and bringing your hands around to one another, but sometimes this is a little bit complicated. It opens up through your back, but if you want, you can just go to heart center or even the backs of your palms together. So starting again in mountain pose, shift your weight over to your right foot, pop up into that left toe, maybe set your hands if you want to do the eagle on either side. Lift your left knee and bring your knees on top of one another, sit down like you're sitting in a chair for eagle pose. All right, and slowly come back up, bring your feet down, and shift your weight. So this is our last standing balance pose. Come towards the top of your mat, and we're going to step the right foot back behind you. So not quite as large of a step as the lunge, but a step behind. Bend into both knees, bring your hands to your front thigh, and start shifting your weight forward. So both knees are bent. Straighten up through the front leg, so we're up on that back toe. Maybe bring your hands to heart center or arms up, and we're going to just lift that back foot up. So don't worry about how high the back leg goes. Just keep your leg in line with your torso. So reaching through the fingers if they're up, or reaching through the top of your head, and breathe. Keep your hips square to the floor. You don't want to open up here. And slowly bring your foot back down. Beautiful job. So starting again in mountain pose, bring your left foot back behind. Bend into both legs, bring your hands to your thighs, straighten up through your front foot, up onto that toe. Set your hands and lift that back foot for warrior three. Slowly bring your foot back down and your hands back down. All right. So starting towards the top of your mat, inhale your arms up. And on your exhale, dive forward towards the floor, forward fold. Take a breath here. And bend in your knees, bring your hands down to the floor and step back into plank. So for your plank, you can stay here, you can come down to the knees. You can also stay with your feet up, but on your elbows here. So holding plank for a moment and breathing. And slowly lower down. So we're going to lower down and pile both hands on top of one another and resting one side of your face on your hands. Take a few breaths here. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. So from here, we're going to move into baby cobra. So keep your hands where they are. Bring your elbows in towards your torso. We're just going to slowly lift up the shoulders, strengthening the low back here. So shoulders down away from your ears, hands flat. Elongate through the top of your head. Try and relax your legs and your butt while you breathe. Slowly come back down, pile your hands and rest the other side of your face on your hands. All right, slowly bring your hands back underneath your shoulders, elbows in, and this time if you want to keep the same baby cobra that you did, you're welcome to do that, or you can move a little bit further into the pose. So you can stay here, or you can bring your elbows out for Sphinx pose, shoulders down away from ears. You can also push just a little bit higher into cobra. So make sure you're breathing here. All right, and slowly uncurl. Take one more crocodile pose, resting your head. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and curl into your toes. Come back up onto your hands and knees for table pose. So your hands are directly underneath your shoulders here, and your knees are underneath your hips. So we're in table pose with a flat back. And we're going to bring the right hand, scoop it along the floor, and bring the shoulder down to the floor. You can leave your left elbow up or you can let it go. You should feel a stretch through the back here. This is called thread the needle. So breathe here. And slowly come back up. Take any wiggle you need. If you want to push back into child's pose, anything at all. And lift the left hand up, scoop the left hand along the floor. Bring that shoulder down towards the floor. It doesn't have to be on the floor. You want to open up through the upper back. And breathe. And slowly uncurl. And this time we're going to push back into child's pose, reaching through your fingers here, maybe even opening up your knees. Take a few breaths here. Alright, so slowly walk your hands over to the right side. So you're staying in your child's pose, walking your hands, feeling the stretch through your torso. If your knees are open, you might even feel it into your hips. And breathe. And slowly come back to center and start to walk your hands over to the left side. Feeling the stretch down the back of your arm into your torso. And slowly come back to center. And we're going to move onto our butts. So turn over to seated. You're going to bring your feet out in front, knees up. Flatten through your back, bring your shoulders down away from your ears, and you can take whatever kind of variation you'd like here. We're going to move into boat pose. So come up onto your toes. You can bring your hands underneath your thighs or out to the side. And breathe, engaging through the core, maintaining a steady breath. If you'd like a variation, you can bring your foot up one at a time. You can bring both feet up. See what feels good. Alright, and slowly bring your feet back down. Bring your one hand over the other. Clasp your ankles and roll into a hug. Slowly curl up, and we're going to make our way down to lying down. So lower your back down, And you're going to bring your knees out to the sides, feet in towards one another. So your soles of your feet are touching and your knees are out to the sides. So adjust anything you need to. You can bring your hands out to the sides in a T. You can bring your arms out to goddess hands. So this is reclined cobbler's pose. Just allow gravity to lower your knees, opening up through your hips here. Start to steady your breath. If you're working on that belly breath, you can bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. So we're starting to slow down here. Slowly bring your knees up, feet flat on the floor, and walk your feet out to the edge of your mat. From here, we're going to bring both knees to the right side, and they're not going to be parallel, but both to the right side. Windshield wipers. So bring your arms out like a T, and if you want to twist, you can gaze out over the left side. If you need more of a stretch here, you can bring your right ankle up to your left knee. And breathe. If your ankle's on your knee, bring your ankle down and slowly bring your knees back up, feet flat on the floor. Gazing towards the ceiling. And bring both knees over to the left side now. Gazing out over the right hand for the twist. Breathing here. If you need more, you can bring the left ankle up to the right knee. If your ankle's up on your knee, bring it down to the floor and slowly bring your knees back up, feet flat on the floor, gazing towards the ceiling. So take a breath and let's bring the knees both into the chest, coming up for a little ball. You can roll side to side here. You can also move into happy baby, grabbing at your toes, your feet, or your shins, opening up through your knees, through your hips. You can roll side to side here as well. So take a few breaths. Breathe here. You can find stillness. moment and move into any yoga pose you'd like, anything that your body still needs. Yoga free for all, so you can hug one leg in, extend the other. If you'd like, you can take another twist. You can move into any sort of back bend that we didn't do. Take anything at all before we start to move into our inversion and relaxation. Alright, so at this point we're going to move into an inversion, and that can be legs up the wall. If you have a clear space of wall, you can bring your butt up to the wall, heels up. You can keep your heels together, or you can bring your heels apart. Or if you'd like to try a different inversion, you're welcome to stay in that happy baby here. You can bring your legs out. That works. So start moving towards an inversion of your choice. Now I'm going to stay seated through the remainder of the class, just walk you through things. So during your inversion, you just want to start relaxing, concentrating on your breath. I would move over here. Move over here. So, the whole point of the inversion is just to get your feet up over your heart and get your blood moving a little bit differently. Start putting your body into almost automatic relaxation. So you're concentrating on that belly breath. You're expanding your belly button way out. And bring your belly button in towards your spine. You can also, during your inversion, move through some of the poses that we did. You can bring your feet together for cobbler's pose. You can do pigeon pose, bringing your knee up and your ankle to your other knee on the wall. Opening up through your hips here, through the back of your thigh. You can move through that. So see what feels good during your inversion. So we're going to move into Shavasana. And Shavasana is our final relaxation pose. You're welcome to stay in legs up the wall if that feels comfortable for you. You're more than welcome to stay there throughout the ending relaxation, or you can slowly make your way off the wall and make your way back to your space, extending your legs, lying down flat, adjusting everything, opening up through your palms, finding stillness in your body to allow for stillness in your mind. So make your way down for our final relaxation. Close your eyes and concentrate on your breath. We're focusing on your deep inhale, your belly breath, your deep exhale. If any other thoughts come into your mind, just let them go. Come back to your breath. Notice the sensation of your breath coming in through your nose and out through your nose. The sensation of your body resting on your mat, your muscles relaxed. So if you find any other thoughts coming into your mind, let them go. Slowly make your way back to your breath. And when you're ready, slowly make your way to your side, rolling over, resting your head in your arm for seed pose. Take a breath here and concentrate on how you did today. Concentrate on congratulating yourself. Take a deep breath, looking forward to your week ahead. And when you're ready, slowly push yourself up to seated. Thanks for taking time to join me in making mindfulness yoga. I appreciate it, and namaste.